Welcome to ChessWire. I'm your host, Adam Carter, with your chess news. Today is Monday, September 5th, 2022. And the headlines today is an online addiction to chess ruining your life. Also, bad boy Hans Niemann defeats Magnus Carlsen in an upset with the black pieces at the Sinkfield Cup in St. Louis. All this today on ChessWire. Now, let's get to your headlines. This is from The Guardian. My online chess addiction was ruining my life. Something had to change, by Stuart Kinney. Perhaps it was when I missed my bus stop so I could finish a 3-minute game of online blitz chess that I realized I had a problem. Or when instead of getting off at that next stop, I started another game on chess.com. I certainly had no qualms about the resulting half-hour walk home, narrowly avoiding lampposts as I continued to line up ill-fated pre-moves against anonymous opponents. Blunder, resign, new game, blunder. I was addicted to online chess. Now, this is nothing new. I myself have experienced this. I've actually ruined a couple jobs back when I was in my 20s because I was playing on chess.com and just trying to build up my rating. And I think the fact that you get that ELO rating on there is what keeps people coming back. So I started playing chess in 2019, having previously only played as a child. I loved the reasoning, the creativity, and of course the fact that people mistakenly think you're intelligent if you play. The problem was I had nobody to play with. When a friend introduced me to online chess, that changed. Certainly did for me as well. I hardly ever had any opponents growing up, so it was just like I got lucky playing or I didn't, and I didn't never really know what I was doing. And then chess.com came along and that changed everything. I began playing regularly, incredibly regularly, and I loved every moment. I planned to join a local club, but then lockdown hit, so I threw myself into online play. That was another thing. The COVID lockdown just completely made chess go through the roof. You had that in combination with the Queen's Gambit, and this all culminated in the game just skyrocketing. And I don't think enough people realize that you can get just as addicted to trying to get that ELO up on chess.com or Lichess or wherever as if you were addicted to World of Warcraft. I know there are a lot of people out there who call it World of Warcraft, and trying to get that ELO rating up is just something that is a very motivating force in one's life, especially when you just start playing. Chess skill is measured on the ELO rating system. Beginners have an ELO below 1200. A club player has an ELO of about 1600, while grandmasters are rated over 2500. If my rating was anywhere near a round number, for example, a ranking of 15 or 1600, I would delay sleep until I got to the next 100 mark milestone. I've done this myself before too. I was like, I am not going to stop playing until I hit 1800 or, 1700, or back even in the early days, I'm not stopping until I hit 1400. But sometimes the milestone would never come, and neither would the sleep. I couldn't stop playing after a win because one often leads to another, and I definitely couldn't end on a defeat. No, you just can't do it. Sometimes though, you learn it's just not my day. Nowadays, if I have any advice for any new chess players, it's this. If you're getting hit after hit after hit, defeat after defeat after defeat, blunder after blunder, I just say you're not seeing the board the same that day. It's like Michael Jordan used to talk about this in basketball. If he was doing something else wrong, he would work in another area. So if you're playing online games and you're just like losing after losing and you're in that quicksand, I think the best thing to do is to stop, get out of the quicksand, go do puzzles, go do anything else, but continue playing games, because you're going to walk away from it just feeling horrible and like, what am I doing with my life? I'm wasting my time, which you in fact are. You're just punishing yourself. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story. This is from the Financial Times. Chess American teenager shocks world champion Carlsen in St. Louis. This is by Leonard Barden. And this is what I was talking about the whole time, was I believed in this kid. I knew everybody was like showing him a lot of hate during the match in Miami where he was having those wild interviews, but I just felt like he's 19 years old. He's dealing with a tremendous amount of pressure. There's so much money on the line for each game even, that was just ridiculous. And so I've stuck by this kid, and I'm really happy to see this win for him. Hans Niemann, 19, a new U.S. chess star who is being compared to the legendary Bobby Fischer, shocked world champion Magnus Carlsen in Sunday's third round of the Elite Sinkfield Cup, staged annually in St. Louis and the brainchild of FT reader and chess patron Rex Sinkfield. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rex Sinkfield is the guy who is the main beneficiary of the St. Louis Chess Club, Chess Hall of Fame, all of that. I know he's a very wealthy, I believe, Republican donor. Not for sure on that. You might have to look it up, but if I remember correctly, I think that's what his deal is. Anyway, he runs in some pretty heavy-duty circles when it comes to selecting different Republican candidates and so on and so forth, and he really has a love in his heart for chess. Niemann's 57-move victory with the black pieces gave him the tournament lead and took the world rating to above 2,700. This is really great that he's gotten to that above 2,700 mark. I know that he had an interview the other day where he had defeated Mamedyarov, and he's in the interviewer asked him, so how does it feel to beat somebody who's 2,750? You've never beat anybody 2,750. And Hans's response was perfect and in Bobby Fischer fashion. He just said, listen, I've done all the hard work. I've done all the prep. In my mind, I'm already that good. The teenager from Connecticut, who does not have a coach yet, but whose rating has jumped 300 points in 3 years, had already beaten the world champion a month early in an online tournament in Miami, where he made headlines for a one-sentence victory interview where he replied, the chess speaks for itself, before walking off. This kid is Bobby Fischer reincarnate, I swear, and I think he might be world champion one day. I'm loving this guy. I'm loving him. So Carlsen's loss ended a run of 53 classical games without defeat for the world champion, and will raise questions about his motivation following his announcement that he would not defend his world title against Russians Ian Nepomniachtchi. And that may be the thing too. It may just be like Carlsen's like in a rut. He's like, I'd rather play poker. I'd rather work on Played Magnus Group and my merger or the acquisition with chess.com. Who knows? But for all intents and purposes, I am just really proud of Hans Niemann. Hans, congratulations. We're all proud of you. We're all rooting for you. Don't listen to the haters. Love you, man. So that ends and wraps up our day for the news and your headlines. Thank you for watching and listening to ChessWire. Have a good one.